I just want to show you the
That's awesome.
yeah.
Where's the air tag? You want me to go get it?
Well, this is our shallow well, and the noise you're hearing is our pump that needs to be rebuilt. And I have found that it is best to take care of these problems when the weather's nice and there's no snow on the ground. So today we're going to clean out the well and rebuild the pump. I put this shallow well in over 5 years ago, and even on the driest days late in the fall, this well has never gone dry and let us down. But because it is a shallow well, every once in a while I like to get down into it and remove anything that needs to be cleaned out. So I need to remove the pump without getting soaking wet from all the residual water that's going to be in the water line that runs from the shallow well all the way up to our water tanks. So I have to carefully cut the pipe and get out of the way without losing the pump at the same time. By the way, the water under my feet is at least 6 feet deep. So it has always been expensive to raise a family. We've tried to be good with our money for that reason. It seems as though at this moment it is more expensive than it's ever been. Just recently I took our youngest son Reed, went to the grocery store for just a few things, and I could not get over what it cost. In the middle of all this, we learned about an app called Upside where you can be earning cash back on things like gas, food, and groceries.
And it's actual cash that you can transfer to your bank account.
Using Upside is easy, and it lets you earn cash back on things you already spend money on. All you have to do is claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside, then pay for it with either a debit or credit card.
Top Upside earners are earning as much as $300 per month. There are over 85,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app.
Over $1 million in cash back is being earned by Upside users each week. To find out how much you can earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code REDPOPPY to earn 25 cents back on every gallon for your first tank of gas.
This offer is only available to those who use our code, so click the link in the description or scan the QR code to download Upside and use code REDPOPPY to start earning today.
Thank you, Upside. We love earning money back. I took the pump up to my shop and very quickly rebuilt it. It only takes just a few minutes. I think this is the 4th time that I've actually rebuilt this pump here at Red Poppy Ranch. And this is why I like RPS Solar so much. I don't have to keep a spare pump sitting on a shelf, and I don't have to send a pump out to get it rebuilt. Because I've made videos about rebuilding this pump before, I didn't film the process, but I will link the playlist at the end of this video if you're interested in the rebuild process. Whenever I get down in the well and stir things up, I like to shock it afterwards. Without a water source like this, our shallow well, I don't know that I would ever feel that our homestead is in fact a real homestead. Water is so unbelievably important to so much life that I always knew I wanted to have more water than we would use. And so far that's been the case, although I would like to add 2 more 2,500 gallon water tanks to our storage ability. Again, the RPS solar control box with the flashing light indicates that everything's working as it should. Now this is the part that I replaced inside the pump, and as I said, I always keep at least 2 rebuild kits on hand at all times. I have found that the way we use our pump, each rebuild kit typically lasts a couple of years. I got the dogs helping me, but I'm down here just kind of giving the well a once over. You can hear how quiet the pump is since I rebuilt it. This is why I like the RPS solar pump so well. I think this is the 4th time I've rebuilt this pump here in place. It took me probably 7-8 minutes to rebuild it. Much quieter, back online. I keep a couple of rebuild kits for this pump around just to be safe, but it's been 3 years since I've had to do this. Much quieter. The sun is now doing the work for us. And we are going to let those tanks fill back up, and I'm going to keep watering the new grass. Willie Ruby, come on. Well, the summer is slipping away as usual, and if I don't get the dirt work finished and back to stacking boulders on this boulder retaining wall, I'm going to get caught in a snowstorm, and the rest is going to be history. So this is the last little bit of digging that I actually need to get done before I can get back to stacking boulders. And I'm finally ready to stack some boulders. Now that I've got all the dirt moved around the way that I want it, I'm going to set all of these boulders up on the second terrace, do a little bit of cleanup with the blade on the excavator, and then start over setting these boulders for the final time. I'm going to say it again, but I sure love having my Bobcat 435 excavator around for jobs like this. I used the biggest boulders that I had on the very bottom terrace, and so now I'm getting down to where I'm using a lot more smaller boulders, which is perfectly fine, but as I stack them I need to be a little bit more strategic about it. And I also need to like how it looks when I'm finished, and this is always the struggle. Sometimes I can't get in there and get as accurate with the excavator as I can by hand, but the boulders are way too heavy to try and move around by hand. It's late in the day and I'm tired, and whenever I start projects like this late in the day, I almost never like how they look the next day. I have a feeling that I'm going to start this whole thing over in the morning. Well, we just had a whole bunch of company come through, and not one of them got to use the hot water out here in this bathroom because there was no hot water because I hadn't installed the tankless water heater. Now this is what I call an internet buy tankless water heater, and my honest opinion is I don't know how long this thing is going to last, but we're going to give it a go. Because I didn't want to spend the money that I should have spent, I bought a less expensive tankless water heater, and I've been questioning that decision since it showed up, but it's time to get it installed and see if it will work at our elevation. The plan is to build some sort of a medicine cabinet looking cover that would go over the top of this tankless water heater, but before I do that I want to make sure that it works as it should, and I always try to install everything so it looks good in the meantime. Well, as I said earlier, there's a few things about this tankless water heater that I'm not crazy about. And one of them is the exhaust venting system on it, so I'll watch it pretty close. Oh, turn the gas on, baby. So as I suspected from the work I did the day before, I didn't like how I had the first few boulders leaning back, so I wanted to move them around, put some dirt behind it, and see how it looked. In a best case scenario, I would have a bigger machine with a longer arm where I could sit on the ground and look directly at the retaining wall as opposed to how I'm doing it in my excavator. And that's part of the reason why I felt like I needed to get all the dirt moved around first. But now that I have the ability to drive the excavator onto the terrace, I have to build the retaining wall and back the excavator off the terrace at the same time, because I don't want to drive out on the edge of the first terrace and potentially damage the work that I've already done. I think I'm finally happy with how the first section of the second terrace looks, but what I love to do after I've got all the boulders sitting in place is go over it with a rock pick, a rake, and a shovel and fill in any gaps that need to be filled in with dirt, brush off the excess dirt, clean it up with the blower, and then to me that's when the rock retaining wall starts to show you its potential. I never get as far as I hope I'm going to get on these projects because it seems like I'm always starting over in the middle of them. But I've got the dirt moved, and that's the big thing. So next week I'm going to focus just on getting these boulders stacked, getting everything graded properly, I'm going to start grading across the front of the house. The one thing I've never done is I've never laser leveled to ensure the water drains away from the house, and we're tired of the mud. So I'm also going to shoot grade across the front of the house, make some changes there. I'm going to order some gravel. In the middle of all this, I'm still going to be working on this rock retaining wall. I'm going to have to start bringing some boulders off the mountain at some point. And the way I see this going, once there's a bunch of grass and maybe some little garden boxes like we have here and trees, I mean, who knows? There's all kinds of stuff we can do with this up here, but I love the way it's starting to turn out. So